And here we go again. So, just a few days ago, we saw the most shocking cliffhanger of Doctor Who in a while. But today we found out how it was resolved. So if you haven't gathered already, spoilers ahead! And once again, this episode has a few unexpected shocks. So go and watch the episode first if you haven't already. Spyfall Part 2 is a great episode, and it seems that Series 12 will be better than Series 11. And one reason for this is the characters. Since Resolution, the Doctor has been improving, and in this episode, we saw the Doctor go solo to a certain extent. And it worked! I am really enjoying Jodie's Doctor, but after a discovery of Gallifrey, I did warn you, in Ruins, I think we'll finally get a little more conflict, which is bound to improve the character. I'm really rooting for her. I was hoping Graham would get more to do in this episode, and we got it, in the form of laser shoes. I just knew that wasn't the last we had heard of them. I just knew it. There were also some heartfelt scenes of him with Yaz and Ryan as they were on the run, and I think this strengthened the bond between the companions. Although Yaz didn't do as much in this part of the story, I feel like she isn't blending in anymore, and I'm beginning to understand her as a character. She cares for her family so much she tried multiple times to contact them, and I'm also glad we're seeing more of the family. I can't wait to see what she does next. Ryan was also great in this episode, but admittedly didn't do as much. I loved the line that referenced him being able to land a plane but not ride a bike. It was a nice little callback as well as a reminder of the growth of his character. The Master wreaked havoc, much like Harold Saxon did in The Sound of Drums back in Series 3. He hunted down the Doctor and he was going to stop at nothing. I do believe that some of the scripting was a bit textbook bad guy though. From what we saw in the first part, the Master is capable of a lot more, and I hope he comes back, especially with the reveal of Gallifrey being destroyed by him. I think he is proving to be an excellent Master, as well as a believable nemesis for the Doctor. And as far as one-off guest stars go, Ada Lovelace was a really good character. I found her immensely likeable, and would have loved to see more of her. But the Doctor was right, she needed to go and make history. I liked Noir as well. I think we didn't get to see as much of her, so didn't get to form as strong a connection, but an enjoyable character nonetheless. And finally, so much for Barton being an ally. He was evil! His poor old mum. He was a great villain, but I don't think we've seen the last of him. The Spyfall story as a whole is very strong. The time travel bits did seem a bit confusing, much like Moffat's era, but the episode does pull everything together quite nicely. I'm really grateful they referenced the plane scene at the end. I think this story showed a lot of character development in every aspect also. And so begins a possible story arc, as the gang know more about the Doctor, but she still holds a very dark secret. I'm eager to see where this is going. But what about them terrifying glowing monsters?
It's Villain Ranking! Well, the Kasabians were not Vords or Cybermen, but there were a few moments I began to think that they might be the Cybermen, with the word conversion. Overall, a strong monster. Barton showed his dark side by killing his mother. He was evil, but that's really all he had going for him in the second part. I love this master. He had some amazing moments, but I need more, and we still don't know if he's after Missy or not.
So, where does the second part rank? Well, Spyfall Part 2 was an awesome episode and remains a strong episode in the Chibnall era, but unfortunately Part 1 was that little bit better. What did you think of the episode? Was it everything you expected?
Overall, we thought it was a great episode, but coming after Spyfall Part 1 was always going to be a difficult task.
So, who's ready for the next adventure? Orphan 55 will be airing next week on Sunday the 12th of January. So, we'll see you then for another review. If you're new, feel free to click the red button below to join the adventure. We'll be back next week for another review, but we're also working on something extra to hopefully come out sometime next week. I've been Christopher.
And I've been Lewis.
And you've been...
Brilliant!
Every night, every day, cause we're so into it. Don't think I could ever quit. Next in 2005, it's taken over our life.